care. I even had a consultant from South Florida offer to come up and help me with the bra clinic. And I met some great people at conference, people that I have called from time to time for information and support. Carol Zander, Gail Bogdanovich. I just spoke with Carol Orrell from last week's conference call, and all of them are just really so willing to help. I have been in direct sales businesses before, and I've never had someone come up to me and say, recruit me. I have never had someone that I've handed my business card to say, oh, that's just what I need, call me. In this business I have. And it affords me the opportunity to travel and take my business with me. I love this business. I really do. When I sit a full-figured lady and she cries and says, I can breathe, or I sit a young woman who says, my neck doesn't hurt anymore, or when I see the excitement on a woman's face when she puts the bra on and she tells me how good it feels, it touches my heart. I know that I'm making a difference in women's lives, that I am performing a service, and I feel good. Sometimes I'm a walking advertisement because I just can't stop talking about how good this business feels to me. It just, like I say, it touches me. That's one of the most marvelous things this business has done for me. Jackie is very patient, supportive, and encouraging. Did I say patient? I had a possible recruit, and I had given her all of the information that I had and explained things as well as I could. But being a brand new recruit, my information bucket is fairly empty. But the very next day, Jackie forwarded me an email from Nancy's notes about recruiting and the pluses of this business. So I took that email, I took out the information that was not applicable to my recruit, and I forwarded it on to her. The next day she called me, said that's just exactly the information I was looking for, and she signed up on the spot. And Jackie was there with me every step of the way. Did I say patient? Jackie is patient. Being new in the business, what do I think? I think it's scary, exciting, fun, profitable. It's an adventure, and I love it. But most of all, I think it makes me feel like I am doing something of value, not only for them, the ladies that I fit, but for me as well. And I thank you. You are all a part of that for me. Thank you.
Well, thank you so very, very, very much, Delane. That was absolutely fantastic. And thank you, Jackie, for being such a good leader. And it's easy to have patience with a new recruit when you know she's eager to learn the business. So thank you for that wonderful talk. Now I'd like to introduce you to Carol Zander, who is just one of our key people. She's moved into district director's position. Many of you have heard the story. Vicki Fanska, God bless her, wherever she goes, she too is a walking advertisement for our great company, and she never fails to talk about the business. So finding Carol and visiting with Carol in a dollar store hooked her in our business. And recently Carol sent me an email and said, I just love this business. So Carol, will you tell us why all that falls into place for you?
I will. Hi, Nancy. Hi, everybody. Tonight I am going to do two different things. I'm going to tell you a little story along with the story of Vicki and I. Vicki and I got together over a laugh in a dollar store, but it could have been anywhere. We were complete strangers joking about what we were buying, and when the time came for me to ask her what she did, she just very simply said, I have my own bra business. I go to people's houses and fit them. How interesting was that? It begged for more questions. So the next day, she came over and we laughed some more. She didn't seem to care that I was older than her, and I could see that she loved the product and was having a good time with it. So I figured I would too. I signed up. The first week we did a curves together. The first time I was out, The next week we did another one, and I was up and running. So when I talked to Nancy last week, she said for me to emphasize two things, and that's how we make it fun and simple and how we try not to prejudge. I'm going to tell you a story of something that happened to me. I really think having a good time with your product is so important. This actually happened to me when I had just started to sell. I was hired by an organ store in a mall as a young salesperson to work the hours no one wanted. I couldn't either read music or play the organ, and it didn't really matter because I was just supposed to hold down the fort until the professional salespeople got there. The professional salesmen were all trained musicians. They entertained the audiences with beautiful music. They drew a crowd, and eventually they snagged sales here and there. We've all heard those people as we went through the mall. I drew a crowd, too. I just loved these organs. I could hit a button, and the keyboard would light up with notes written on the keys. Hey, I couldn't read music. I could hit another button, and the beat would change from a foxtrot to a tango. I could play the one song I knew, Lady of Spain, with 2 fingers and have fun. I did this out in the mall walkway. Hundreds of people went by. I didn't know how bad I was because I was having a good time. As I plunked away, the crowd that had gathered when I started would thin out. In other words, anyone with any musical background would leave, and I would be left with those people who had tin ears and no musical education. They saw someone having a good time doing something that they might like to do. They would crowd around as I flashed the keyboard lights on and off, and they were in awe at all the musical beats that were built into the machine. One night, as I was getting started, pushing buttons to wow the crowd, I asked one of the new men in the audience if he would like to try out the organ. He said he always wanted to play, but he couldn't. Figuring he hadn't taken any lessons, I said, "But look, it's easy. I can do it with 2 fingers. "That's good," he says, "because that's all I've got. The rest were blown off in the war." So we all laughed. The crowd laughed. We didn't know what else to do. He sat down on the bench with me, and we played chopsticks together. He with 2 fingers at one end and me with the only 2 fingers I knew how to play with at the other end, and the crowd went crazy. So when the professional salespeople heard what I had done, they poo-pooed me for wasting my time on such a loser. But I got the last laugh because the next night, the 2-fingered man came back and bought a $6,000 organ, cash, from me. So please, lighten up with people, be yourself, have a good time, and don't prejudge. That perfect candidate might be a person with 1 breast, 2 breasts, or no breasts. You just never know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carol. And isn't that true? How if Carol would have prejudged this gentleman, she would never have had that $6,000 sale. And I think many of us do that when we're looking at a potential recruit. Before we ever visit with her, talk with her, we go, "Oh, she would never want to do this," or "She doesn't have the money." But so many times that is not true. So thank you, Carol, for that wonderful, wonderful talk. Now, Carol, are you on? Carol Arell? Carol, are you on? Can you hear me? Carol Arell? Mary Black?
Yes. Nancy?
Yes.
This is Mary.
Yes. Is Carol Arell on?
It doesn't sound like it. I don't know what happened.
Okay, I was afraid nobody could hear me there. So anyway, if Carol Arell is not on, you can better believe that she's tied up in traffic or she's busy in some clinic doing bras and has not been able to leave, because I did talk with her and she had planned to visit tonight. But anyway, Phyllis, I'll turn this back to you because I know you want to talk a little bit about their assignments and what we're going to do for next week.
Okay, thanks, Nancy. I'm sorry that Carol wasn't on, but we will get her later because she certainly, well, let me kind of summarize a little bit. Delane now, I think she came in, what did Nancy say, 2 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
She's already up to district director. Now, 5 new people. Wow. We're lucky to get her.